Honourable members, we have quorum. The Honourable Member for Miduramu will lead us in prayer.
Okay, me Baitan. God big play. You God belong heaven and ground. You God belong all big black country. You God belong this play Papua New Guinea. Now long this play day. Papa God, me all members. Kambung long house belong all people long this play day. Big play God me ask him. Good blood ting na belly see belong you. Can help him me play. Papa God me pray. But I can give him wisdom. Long Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, all ministers and the members, Governor's law, government side. Papa God, me pray, you can give him good wisdom belong you, long opposition leader, Deputy opposition leader, all members na governor, long opposition side. Big God, belisi na mari you can stop on me long this day. Lucy wrong na pasinogot me make him. Papa God, me pray. You give me strong look out him all people belong this country. Na senisim na kirap him this country. Big God, belisi na good ting belong you can stop on me People la make him this pray. Where God big Jesus Christ, you been lining me long pray. Our Father, who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and glory, forever and ever. Amen. Honourable members, I wish to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery of Group 1 students and their teachers from Marineville Secondary School in Mosby Northeast Electorate, National Capital District, students and their teachers from the Tolopo Primary School in Abao District, Central Province, and the students and staff from the Papua New Guinea Education Institute in the National Capital District, and the Provincial Assembly members of the Northern Province. On behalf of the Parliament, I extend the visitors a warm welcome. Clerks, any petitions? Notices? Honourable members, question time. The opposition leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My question without notice, Deputy Speaker, goes to the Honourable Minister for Treasury, the Honourable Ian Ling-Stuckey. Deputy Speaker, as per the Fiscal Responsibilities Act, we anticipate and expect the final budget outcome to be presented to the Honourable House at the end of the first quarter of every year. That's March 31st, Deputy Speaker. Where is the 2025 final budget outcome that clearly outlines to the people of Papua New Guinea and this Honourable House how the executive government has spent the people's money? When is it going to be published? Because it's already 4 months late, Deputy Speaker, and that's 2 weeks away from Maifo at the end of July. We want the Treasurer to explain to the House when we can expect him to bring these reports to the floor for debate, discussion and deliberations, because they're so important to tell the country how this executive government has spent the people's money. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the opposition leader for his pertinent question. The FBO will be tabled at the next session of Parliament in August or September this year. Thank you.
Honourable Member for Abao.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My question without notice is directed at our Prime Minister. But before I ask the question, I want to also thank you for accepting my children from Abao, Tolopo Primary School, 45 of them and 12 teachers. Thank you very much, plus the other guests that you have acknowledged. Mr. Deputy Speaker, my question to the Prime Minister is with regards to the bill that has been long awaited for the St. John ambulance. The Prime Minister is very well aware of when St. John was established in the country. This year, they have celebrated 69 years of service to Papua New Guinea, pre-hospital care to this country. The then Parliament in 1976, after independence, passed the St. John Council Incorporation Act. So this House made St. John Ambulance a statutory organization headed by the Governor General, as you and I are aware of. That Act of St. John Council Incorporation Act was passed in 1976, and therefore the Council, in their wisdom, wanted to upgrade that particular bill to a new legislation that will guide them for the next 50 years. My question to the Prime Minister is, one, where is that bill at the moment? Because the St. John Ambulance and the Council have been waiting for over 2 years. And as you recall, I presented it as a private bill, but withdrew it because it was recommended as a money bill as well. So it had to go back to Cabinet. So I want the Prime Minister to assure the House that under his leadership, and I know many ministers in his Cabinet are supporting that, when will that bill be presented on the floor of Parliament? That's the first question. Second question, under the Prime Minister's initiative, he established a standard in the National Executive Council. That standard is any minister who has a conflict of interest must declare that their interest in Cabinet when a matter is dealt with. Now that the Prime Minister has appointed a new Minister for Health, who has also services in ambulance services in the country as a private provision, can the Prime Minister ensure that the Minister declares his conflict of interest when the matter comes to Cabinet? Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister, we have a point of order from the Minister for Health, so let me have his point of order. Minister, what's your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. The good member for Abao is well aware that we have been working on a national ambulance service bill that will put the legal framework and structure in which all ambulance service providers, including St. John's, will work under. And so I think this question is a politically motivated question to put the Prime Minister on the spot.
Honourable,
he's fully aware of this.
Honourable Minister, your point of order is out of order. I'll allow the Prime Minister to respond to the point of order question.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I want to prefix my reply by acknowledging students amidst us, primary school students from Abao, our high school students from one of our good schools in our country, and Marineville. Keep up the good job, and also our colleagues for our teachers who come for in-service to ensure they are properly skilled. We acknowledge them in our midst. Now, leaders from Oro Province. Thank you. Oro, thank you, Ripla Kamlo, Bigpla, Kibung House, Pla Yumi, Amaslo, Lukimi, Pla Sidanlo, Public Gallery. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I thank the member for Abao for raising an important issue on St. John Ambulance. St. John Ambulance has been around since 1959, if my memory is not wrong. It's a important service that they have been giving to our country. We will not stand in the way of that, their presence be diluted. I want to give full assurance in September sitting. We reconcile all these issues that the money bill issue, etc. They deserve to be supported by state to run a standalone ambulance services linked to our public service system. So our fullest assurance to you, no conflict of interest whatsoever will stand in the way of St. John Ambulance being given the role, support, prominence. They've been serving our country faithfully. And I want to place on record this Parliament's and my personal appreciation role of St. John Ambulance in our country. And so I don't think we must dilute their presence. Whilst the overall ambulance service policy is being worked upon, St. John's Ambulance deserves a fair go on its own on the merits of their current services. So we reconcile all these things. I instruct through this question the Health Minister and the Health Department to work in total haste, reconcile. The bill has been sitting in Parliament corridors for a long time. I thank yourself for the sponsor of the private members bill, and I thank you for understanding. With money implication, government must take carriage of this bill, and so we'll take carriage of this bill to make sure it is delivered at the earliest. We target September before we go out for September 16 into our 51st year. Some of these things must be given proper context, and what a fitting way to recognize St. John Ambulance in our passing into 51st, that the place is not diluted. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Governor for Oro.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. My questions or series of questions are directed to the Minister for Works. And they're in relation to a subject that causes some confusion in my province. And so I hope that this answer that he will give will help clarify for the people of Oro the issues in relation to the TSSP program in my province. My questions are as follows. Can the Minister explain who is responsible for the awarding of contracts under the TSSP and confirm that the provincial government has little to no influence as to how those contracts are issued? Can the Minister also explain who is responsible for carrying out the inspections as to the work carried out by the contracted companies, and explain exactly which of the stakeholders are responsible for what aspect of those inspections? Can the Minister also clarify that an agreement has been reached between the PNG government and the Australian government for the sealing of the Kokoda Highway from Mbara to Kokoda, which is about 47 kilometers? Mr. Deputy Speaker, this is to clarify for my people, many of whom are confused at home as to exactly who is responsible and tend to blame the provincial government and the DDAs for work that they are not responsible for. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
The Minister for Works and Highway.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and I thank my good Honourable Governor for Oro for this very important question. And before I do take an opportunity to respond, I also want to acknowledge our students and all our distinguished guests this morning in the chamber, and in particular to my mother's people of Oro, representing the Provincial Executive Council. Oro, 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 Oro. Governor, thank you for providing opportunity for our leaders to be here. Good luck question, let me ask him, so I will try to reply in Pidgin for the benefit of the many throughout the country that understand or hear about TSSP, the Transport Sector Support Program, for better clarity. So just at the onset, Deputy Speaker, the Transport Sector Support Program
is a bilateral program funded by the Australian taxpayers as a grant to the transport sector agencies like Department of Transport, Department of Works, Agency Blayumi Ol Kolima National Airports Corporation, CASA, RTA, Road Traffic Authority, NMSA, National Maritime Service Authority. These are the all sectors where this bilateral agreement, but them Australia and Papua New Guinea through taxpayers of Australia, only funding all this sector Blayumi. The program, or this program, purposely drafted long or created long helping capacity Blayumi long build him, all this all important infrastructures Blayumi underneath long all this agencies in the department. Same time to support him capacity Blayumi inside long all this all departments na authorities. One them Department of Works and Highways this program targeted particularly long all coastal areas Blayumi, long country Blayumi. Na address him 10 provinces Blayumi. For our honorable leaders, Deputy Speaker, TSSP, Ani long DOW, Karamapimol coastal regions Blayumi, including Central Province, Milne Bay Province, East New Britain Province, West New Britain Province, New Ireland Province, number 5, the Special Region of Bougainville, number 6, Manus Province, number 7, Medang Province, East Sepik, na West Sepik, where me looking this 10 province, TSSP, work long support him tete, underneath long work, long Department of Works and Highways. In a more specific question by our good governor, Losait Blongem Long Oro, he got one major funded project, was me highlight him, this Northern Highway, the Kokoda Highway. Even got one issue, one time performance, this contractor. Na this management long contract, me come underneath back long arrangement long TSSP or this program underneath where managed by this particular program itself. One time guidance belong DOW. So he got underneath long this performance block current contractor. Even got one amendment only been need long make him underneath long this particular contractor lo improve him work long make him. So TSSP with DOW has now tendered the scoping study works and design for the amendment contract and me play work long finalize him now this last process belong him. So Governor, there's room for improvement, and those suggestions by or the questions and the recommendations that me highlight him where work long making this amendment law improvement contract is being taken care of by Tupla responsible body, which is the DOW na TSSP group M yet long addressing this amendment long improving this the finality of this contract. So as me highlight him, this TSSP transport sector support program, me say come on into look out long Australian government na inside of Papua New Guinea, you make got Australian High Commission, which this TSSP me respond directly underneath long this office belong Australian High Commission. So one time this me hope me give him clarity so you may understand him work belong TSSP, how me support him all different agencies and authorities and it long sector of transport. Na today how me work long look long 10 provinces of Papua New Guinea. Na also me highlight him Deputy Speaker alongside Kokoda Highway. There was a need for an amendment in the contract which is now being finalized and will soon be starting that work again. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Supplementary, the member for Ijibitari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 50+ million. Lo just grade him road. Man, road lo kokoda na for suppose lo call tapins. People member, people actually try play heavy lo people stuff. And that contractor up until today, he no had one plan. Before we plus go to place la for 1 hour to solia. We are making it 4 hours now. And the machines are sleeping down on the side of the road. And that contract has been awarded over 50 million kina. And this is madness. Please, Mr. Speaker, me ask him, Minister, you give priority to Slana, look, la contractor. Now what people are working one kind of not an highway. Or be for a road. Because that same contractor is there, paid over 50 million. Now all months in time la road stop. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member for Ijibitari, I don't see your supplementary being put into question, but I think I'll allow the minister to make some statement and respond to you.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and Honorable me kisim tok blongem, and I will look into the contract now. By me, I can update him status below this particular contract. Me tok blongem. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable member for Kundiawa Kambogol.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Long all people belong Kundiawa Gabog. My question is directed to the Minister for Lands, Deputy Prime Minister. That's in relation to the alienated land in Mirane, in Kundiawa town, that belongs to my people of Endokwa tribe. It houses the police barracks. There is more than 50 police personnel and their families living down in Mirane. It also has the nursing college. There is students from all over the islands region, including the country, who are studying there. And they have not been compensated, and they've been following up for more than 15 years. So my question to the Minister for Lands is he aware of the request for payment that's been forwarded to his office? Number two, can you confirm if the state can make some payments as recognition for state using their customary land? And number three is, how soon can that be done? Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Minister for Lands, Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I'd like to appreciate the good questions from the member for Kunda Gembo, and like to advise that the Marana land issue for the purchase, if he can have the relevant documents brought to my office so we can have a look at it. We had some discussions prior to him not being available due to a court case, between him for the Court of Disputed Returns for the elections. But now that he's back in Parliament, we can continue those discussions for the development of the Marana land. And part of it can also be to try to resolve the issue and the background on the acquisition of the Marana land. So my office is open, Mr. Deputy Speaker, if the good member can approach my office with the necessary documents and we can discuss and resolve that issue, please. Thank you.
Member for Siasina Yangumo.
Yes, thank you. Me like asking one black question lo El Nino na natural disaster na batia but minusa usat minister blo natural disaster. The Prime Minister. Okay. So me by asking lo Prime Minister. So this week lo Monday Prime Minister talk lo newspaper al sem any disaster relief law, this la El Nino na dry season na all this la consequences blame. Me all member can manage him law DSIP na all governor can help him law PSIP na kind of same, which is okay. Me one bell. Question blow me emo same enough law and we can also work at front loading. This la DSIP say about 3 million per district. Now, maybe 5 million per province. Mipla by using once Mipla Saulo Number of money land blow mipla by mipla okim plan. And then mipla by respond. So all people law place all expect him, you me law respond as a government, law heavy all by same time law this la dry season and prolonged dry season and by come up and Bureau of National Weather Service number only talking by up to 9 months. So I think we are about 3 months into it, not plus 6 months is up them long time. So I'm by affecting all people. All I'm asking is Sinaplo you can front load him. Government can front load him payment below DSIP or whatever other grants Mibla districts are kissing me, front load him. And then front load him all governors too. And then Mibla by Yusimlo. One simple salo number of money lo unblo Mibla working budget law disaster relief. And that's all. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Me looks how long good luck question for member of law Sine. Pass them through. Me like talk also. This El Nino is unplanned for. None of us thought El Nino would come by. Our national government is fully assessing the spread of the possible spread of El Nino and the effect. And as a government, we will also have a program on standby, facilities on standby, or the systems on standby to assist. But in the meantime, we will ask him all districts, now provinces, because you stop in as government hand, na leg, na eye, na face close to all people. You look in what's happening right away, and you can make an immediate response as people wait if situation go big to mass. You can also overlay. I want to and because DSIP and PSIB program funding is run to all districts and provinces, whether you stop law opposition or government, we try our absolute best to make sure everyone is kissing. And so this is the easiest funding available. I take note on the request for front loading. The finance minister tells me all of us are tracking at 70–80% for this year. And so, but at the quantum, at the overall, for this year, you would all be receiving for district support programs, 10 million kina at the bare minimum, or even provinces, the DSIP is still at 10 million kina. I want to ask all DDAs and all provincial executive councils, because of people stop me, the road will not, the people will not really blame you if that road gets pushed back down the line, and we will look at them all past them long, no at water. So, finance minister is tailoring a financial instruction to allow you to have the flexibility to address our people's need where they are at this time. We will be by the end of December 31st, 100% of the 10 million kina earmarked for all districts will still be coming all provinces. The IRC Commissioner General informed me 2 nights ago that we're tracking above forecast revenue right now. For the first time, this year IRC has collected over 10 billion kina. This year, last year, they were tracking at 7 billion kina. This year, we're tracking over 10 billion kina revenue collected already. So we're not doing too bad in as far as revenue collection is concerned. We've been giving subsidy, but I just want to caution us. 1 billion kina worth of fuel subsidy we're carrying this year. And so just to make sure that our people are not feeling the burden in paying higher fuel. The fuel tariff PNG pays right now is amongst the lowest in our region. The only other country that beats us in terms of fuel tariff is Indonesia. Indonesia has a much lower tariff than us. We pay the second lowest fuel tariff in the Asia-Pacific region right now. That's because government is subsidizing. The reason why I'm relating this to the good member's question is that please don't expect that government get endless pool of fund. Now, you may current fuel support, now next one too, I'm like giving again come inside. You may optimizing one money you got finished. So I was working this week, someplace you look him, you may pick him the later half of the year or next year. They may get push him goals. El Nino, you may come, you may need law address him. So financial instruction by come, we're giving you approval or you use him district resources. Whether you're opposition or government, we've been, last year I think all of you got minimum, your districts and provinces got 10 million each through the DSIP program. If some of you are behind, then you let us know. But I am 100% certain that opposition and government alike, we've been giving all of you the equal amount of money. Using this money, Pastor, if you are not yet at 80%, we will try to catch up so that you have that envelope. You look in, plan him, find out. Suppose you need him because some blood brain too oklopuna lick. Some blood go dry algara. So different area got different needs, space and scope. I remember the 1997 El Nino. I was the late Governor Agiru's front man in delivering relief to Southern Highlands in 1997. 1997 and budget block country no got 10 million kina per district yet. But Southern Highlands provincial government then am using revenue block and yet reprioritize elsewhere, and I hear that small program will give him rice back. 10 fish long all places were affected by El Nino. So ground is dry now. Cow no grow. So I'm asking you block the districts long, talk to district administrator and a provincial administrator, find out what is happening. You give him one help you can give him. Suppose honey sort. You mean you're gonna bring him together, national government can look at how you should help him or people. Thank you too much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Governor, for letting your colleague to so it's easy for me now to ask member for not fly for your supplementary.
Supplementary, Blomi, because it's in relation to the El Nino. I just want to give you a brief background of my district situation, then I'll ask my question. The supplementary is this. Because it's to do with the El Nino, we are faced in the headwaters of the Fly River, and we are completely cut off because the river level has dropped, and all our supplies and everything is now disconnected. Now, I have a situation where we are now trying to trade into Indonesia as we connecting by road, and the road is almost about to be completed. Now, I'm trying to ask a question to the Prime Minister. Would he do an undertaking to instruct the relevant departments to immediately take the border side to establish the quarantine, immigration, and everything so that we can start accessing to bring our goods and supply from Indonesia? Very short question. Can he do that undertaking? Thank you.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. And the member for North Fly raised an important question. And if he could also acknowledge the national government's role in that road construction that is going to approaching Binge, from Binge, Ali Speed to the other side of the border. We have initiated this project. We will complete this project. And this road is important. All state agencies will go. It is for the benefit of the rest of our country. It's a very important access to Indonesia we're punching right now in the center, west of our country. It goes straight on the other side. Some of you, I grew up listening to a song about a town on the other side. That town just slips in my mind right now. On the other side, they have road that runs all the way on to the opposite ours. We run on the other side, and then we can go down and come off Merakwe. I want to assure the member that this is a national government project, and I want to thank his district for supporting it. We will penetrate the center-west on the West Papua side, Indonesia. Indonesian embassy here has been asked. I signed at the backdrop, mind you, when I meet presidents or world leaders, we're not running just to watch rugby league. We're doing state business. And I signed an agreement with President Widodo in 2021 in Jakarta. One of that was for Papua New Guinea and Indonesia to have transport connectivity between both sides. That's why when Pope Francis visited us last year, West Papuans and Christians on the other side were able to come to Wanemo, driving from Jayapura in using their own car. That same access we'll do in the center west part of our country, direct a little bit above Kinga, he knows that area. We'll go across on the other side, and then Okteri or those at the central part of Western Province and West Sepik can then have access to supply. They have an equivalent to Fly River on the other side. A big river also on the other side, but for them, road runs from that side all the way to Merakwe. And Octeri wants to access that road access, so we're opening road back in the center of our country to Indonesia, West Papua. I give assurance to the minister, I beg your pardon, the SADO minister, member for North Lai, that will be done. Indonesian authority are looking to us having borders on this side and that side for ease of access. So if Fly River goes down, we could be accessing services out of Merakwe or Daru from the south side through that path. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Day.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Lord people of Day, Lord Islam morning. Question lo mi on so question. Na mi go lo Minister of Higher Education, Science and Research, na sports. Question I go sem lo the health program that you play Department, the Ministry of Law, you roll him out. Can you give an update on the status of that so that all Sumatin law, all colleges and universities can say? Why am I asking this line? Because me, the district law employee, I'm trying to subsidize him some fee, but all he's still asking was that fee is not enough because the help money is not coming in. So if you can give an update on that so that all he can clear this law. Thank you.
Honourable Minister for Higher Education.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. No, thank you, Member of Law Day, good luck question. We were supposed to close in March, but plenty also no able apply help. So plenty been asking me extend him, delay him close application. So that when we give him extra time, plenty of beginning a chance apply help. We have a portal online where planners apply. We give an opening date and a close date. Or apply, we close and then we process payments. But because plenty requests extend him the cutoff date, we've extended, so that's sort of delayed. But I should give you an actual date in our next day's technical final office. But that's the whole reason why we delayed. So we'll make sure we close that one as soon as possible. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Aitaperumi.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Loluksao, people of Aitaperumi. My question is directed to the Minister for Administrative Services. I'm staff or I'm not staff? Me like raise question go lem so me la straight Muslim, so I cannot direct to any minister or even prime minister. Otherwise, receiving question below me. When the time stop me by asking, but before me sit down me like take his time. Lo talk thank you lo prime minister. Na works minister lo visit him Wesipik Wanimo. People blight below me talk thank you lo launching the road. Na first time lo Prime Minister lo sila country tu lo overnight lo wani mo, so mi salute you Prime Minister. Mi tok magi ma people lo Wesipik na ita belumi mi like to thank you lo this la road network and back from Warasigao to Lumi Karaitem League Station Lumi na wani mo to Green River. Thank you Prime Minister. Marapero so kapma. Thank you.
Thank you, Member. We'll receive your question and you can ask your question when the Minister is available. Minister, Member Blow. Wawaria.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. You are Bruce Liglick, but coming up. My Deputy Speaker, my question is related to Administrative Minister, but it's not here, but the Prime Minister can answer. Okay, this with regards to 2027 election. It's coming up. All right, 27, yeah. So, the most common problem in national general election over these years is common role. Our common role is the most important problem, most important thing that causes a lot of problems in elections. Okay, we've been talking about one person, one vote.
and biometric voting, all this photographic voting. But now you become close to the time now to implement those things. It's not possible. We will do it after maybe after next elections. So, los cities, kind of Mosby, Ley, all other towns again, I think biometric voting and all this will be possible for them. But Mipla lo place baat lose the time. But one thing that is possible and it has worked all before coming common role. Pepaya. This la pepaya. All the man lo place need lo got access lo this la pepa. Name lo need lo stab lo pepa. Na print him this la common role. Na put him lo council ward, LLG chamber, district office, one map now they can have access to that information. They must know that their name is on the common roll or not. That information must not be kept secret. You know, some common roll or electoral officers taso bolimo, or some candidates taso bolimo, or some members taso bolimo, or some public servants taso bolimo. This like information common roll. All the people need to get access to this information. So my question is, I want to get the assurance. I want the Prime Minister to, if he can give the assurance to the people of this country and to the members of this parliament that before the 2027 election or before we go into the common roll, we need to have the common rolls printed, whether through print media or to electronic, and the public can have access to it. Can you give that assurance to the people of Papua New Guinea? Thank you.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Deputy Speaker, I like the passion and zeal of the Chairman of Parliamentary Committee on ICT and the member for Warrior. He's also doing a lot of good job, and I commend him for the road he's driving, pulling all the way. Right now, we're almost into Garana Station. And if we carry on this road, it will come out to Sohe and link up with Kokoda Highway. So I want to commend him for his work, and people like him deserve to be re-elected. I don't campaign for him right here, but I'm just stating, and all of you in any case. I want to give full assurance. I think one of the reasons why the Electoral Appointments Committee appointed the current Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Haley, and I, without divulging so much into the privacy of the Electoral Appointments Committee, but it was a transparent process. The opposition leader is a senior member of that committee, and we stepped out of our way to interview the two shortlists. We felt before we make final decision, we must see them up front and have a feel about their ability. So the 4-member committee sat and interviewed them up front. The other one, with greatest respect to her, she was a little bit all over the place. I put to Dr. Haley when her turn came up, what is the first thing you would do to make 2027 election a fair go for every candidate and every party and the contestants? The opposition leader is in there. He will recall my question to her. And the first response he made was putting up a transparent common roll for everyone to scrutinize. The common roll must be, the first thing I would do is common roll to be there for everyone to see whether their name is on the roll or not. And so that for me stood out big in her favor. She had clear strategy in place. I asked her a second question. It's a job that comes with a lot of name smearing. Why do you want this job? And she said, I've been writing about PNG elections for the last 30 years. If I'm given the opportunity, I'd at least try to contribute to fixing some of the problems that I saw. And she related to the election collapse in Makam and Kaboom. Deputy Speaker, your own election, as an indication to the systematic erosion of electoral process over more than 30 or so years. So we considered, and she, just to come back to the question, she made it absolutely clear that her first business was a transparent common roll everyone. For me, I'm happy with that line of thinking. We will give every support for the common roll to be open. All of us know the stress we all go through in election time when common roll is not really transparent for all to see. And so that will be her first job, and we'll support her. And I want to, through this question, Mr. Deputy Speaker, inform the country. Every candidate, it is also your business to assist the process in a transparent common roll. Every citizen out there above the age of 18, when the process is open, it is in your interest where your roll name is registered on the roll, you must check. So the executive government will assist the electoral commissioner to making sure that common roll process is started at the earliest. Even if we fall short of our ID voting in 2027, we will give our very best shot to make sure the integrity of common roll is not questioned, common roll is transparent, every voter is enrolled or given opportunity to see this. And this, in my view, that support will be rendered to her in the next 3 months as it takes office, at the system running in making sure the common roll process is stepped up. I want to go one step beyond. Anyone who tampers with the common roll process must have a penalty that is higher than and almost equivalent to criminal code penalties. Every citizen is entitled to vote, and I've made it known to the Electoral Commission. One person, one vote must be arrived at the earliest. In 2027, we want to get to that. And it is not changing the LPV to the first past the vote. No, it is about that one old lady who wants to vote, that one old man who wants to vote, that gentleman or lady who wants to vote, or a child who finally has crossed over to be 18 years old, who wants to cast a vote to the leader of his or her choice. They must be given opportunity at the booth with a ballot paper to decide who they want as the leader. People like me stand accused all the time that the sabotage happening in Tari. I want to beat this in a 2027 election process that allows good time, fair time, more time, and that citizen walking up, picking his or her ballot paper because his or her name is on the roll, and he or her decides who is the leader of his or her choice. So I think common roll will be a big part of the work preparation. I want to ask all of us to assist the process. Councillors who are now on payroll, you know your people, you assist in the ward common roll updates. The starting reference point would be 2022 common rolls, getting out there publicly. So the 2022 common roll out publicly will measure against although there are two distinct rolls, the census, population census data and the common rolls. So please get yourself aware of the activity that will take place. If I could ask all political party leaders, next week, Thursday, we're asking the Electoral Commissioner and the racial political party to come into Parliament to do a session on the preparations of all party leaders and all members of Parliament and other stakeholders out there who want to have a feel about what is happening in the Electoral Commission as they prepare. Avail yourself next week, Thursday, after Parliament, this day next week. We can then have a session at the State Function Room. An outlay on what is coming will be there. I've given commitment that the Permanent Parliamentary Committee on Election Matters, the one that this Parliament set up, chaired by Governor Bed, will remain part of the process for bipartisan full knowledge on the preparatory work, so all are informed. And there's no perception of biasness or skew towards one person. It is an election that is fair on all of us, so that we can then go to the elections and a people's choice emerge after the 2027 election. I want to also indicate a little bit outside of the line of question. There's from National Intelligence Organization, as well as Prime Minister's Department, there's a recommendation going to Electoral Commission that instead of one-day polling in Highlands, we structure for a week polling in divide Highlands into 2 zones. So a week polling. Part of the reason why Highlands has cultured a block voting concept is the limitations of hour of voting. The time is too short. Example, you go to the remotest area, helicopter brings in the ballot at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock if the helicopter is available. Polling closes at 2, 3 o'clock. It has to be ferried back. So people then have circumvented a PNC-style democracy where they agreed on who to vote, and they try to do it faster. We said to cut this out, we are recommending to Electoral Commission, structure security properly. One-day polling is to be left behind. Do a 3-4 day polling in a program. Pronounce the polling stations earlier. These are designated polling stations. Security around those polling stations. Ballot paper is there. People go knowing that these days they'll be participating vote. And this parliament, we also propose in this parliament to increase penalties on those who cause election problems and facilitate illegal activities. Section 215 offense of the organic law on elections. Let's look into that. Attach penalty to those who cause illegal activities. We've also asking for only public servants to run elections. And Defense Force, Police, CIS, and public servants who run elections, if they participate in illegal practices, they can be sacked. So that hopefully 27 is a fairer process for candidates who are contesting, including all of us, and the people's choices emerge through that process. Thank you too much.
Honourable members, our question time has elapsed. Papers, Minister for Justice and Attorney General.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to a statute, I present a treaty document relating to the ratification of Papua New Guinea's accession to the United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime. Mr. Speaker, I ask the leave of this Parliament to make a statement in connection with the treaty document.
Is leave granted? Make your statement, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, or Deputy Speaker, it gives me a great pleasure to seek the consent of this Honourable House for Papua New Guinea to accede to the United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime, UNTOC. Mr. Speaker, the UNTOC was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on 15th November 2000, but the resolution 55/24. It has 92 state parties and 147 signatories. PNG is among 9 member states that were not parties to the UNTOC. The UNTOC is further supplemented by the protocols. At this stage, PNG intends to accede to the UNTOC and not to any other protocols. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the UNTOC was developed to combat organized crimes and such as money laundering, drugs and arms smuggling, trafficking in persons, people smuggling, wildlife trafficking, artifacts smuggling, maritime piracy, our traditional offenses that will exceed borders, boundaries, jurisdictions, and nations. Further, the UNTOC aims to
eliminate the differences in the domestic legal systems of its member states by promoting an international standard that allows the different law enforcement authorities to coordinate and cooperate. It is a platform where countries may improve cooperation and coordination efforts on extradition, mutual legal assistance, transfer of criminal proceedings, and joint investigations. Mr. Deputy Speaker, to achieve its objectives, the UNTOC sets out several international standards and best practices that member states are encouraged to adopt to promote a universal approach. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the UNTOC sets out 4 criminal offences that member states are encouraged to adopt and criminalize in their domestic legal framework. The offences include participation in an organized criminal group, money laundering, corruption, and obstruction of justice. The offences form an integral part of the UNTOC, and it is incumbent on state parties to adopt and criminalize them. Mr. Deputy Speaker, despite not being a state party, PNG has proactively taken steps towards addressing the criminal offences and the criminal activities under the UNTOC. Some of these measures stemmed from other international platforms where PNG is a member state, while others were the initiative of the national government to address the growing trend of transnational organized crimes and organized criminal groups in the country. Consequently, the domestic legal framework of Papua New Guinea sufficiently covers offences related to money laundering, corruption, and the obstruction of justice. 3 of the 4 offences under the UNTOC are sufficiently captured by the existing laws of PNG. Mr. Deputy Speaker, Anti-Money Laundering and the Counter-Terrorism Financing Act 2015, the Criminal Code, Money Laundering and the Terrorism Financing Amendment Act 2015, the Proceeds of Crimes Act 2005, and the Controlled Substance Act 2021 are examples of the existing domestic laws that capture the offence of money laundering and the terrorist financing. The administrative mechanisms such as the establishment of the Financial Analysis and Supervised Unit, FASU, within the Bank of Papua New Guinea, and the establishment of the Transnational Crime Unit with the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, the Office of the Public Prosecutor, and the creation of the Sanctions Secretariat within the Department of Prime Minister and the National Executive Council, I established domestic mechanisms to address money laundering and terrorist financing. Further, PNG is a member of the Asia Pacific Group on Money Laundering, which sets out several international best practices that PNG is gradually implementing to strengthen the legal, regulatory, administrative, and the policy framework to improve the money laundering and terrorist financing efforts in PNG. The minor reforms may be undertaken to fully comply with the requirements of ANTOC. Due to the transnational elements of organized crimes and organized criminal groups, the ANTOC provides several mechanisms for member states to facilitate effective and efficient international cooperation and coordination. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Act 2005 and the Extradition Act 2005 sufficiently provided for international cooperation and coordination through mutual legal assistance and extradition. The Central Authority for International Crime Cooperation within the Department of Justice and Attorney General is implementing this mandate. The international coordination and the cooperation platforms provided under the ANTOC may complement the existing legal framework by expanding its scope of application. Under the current framework, extradition is limited only to Pacific Island Forum countries and other countries with which PNG has an extradition treaty. The ANTOC may be a platform where extradition may be facilitated beyond the scope of the current framework. The members' mechanisms for cooperation and coordination are further supplemented by the respective state agencies' existing affiliations with international bodies and treaties, where they seek assistance to implement the respective mandates. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the ANTOC promotes training and other technical assistance for member states. These trainings and programs are geared towards developing the necessary capacities of the local law enforcement agencies to combat organized crimes and organized criminal groups within a respective jurisdiction. Proper training and capacity building may ensure a proper investigation, a proper preservation of materials with evidentiary value, prosecutions, international cooperation and assistance in investigations and joint investigations, and the proper facilitation of mutual legal assistance and extradition requests. Mr. Deputy Speaker, there is a dire need to improve and build capacities of our local law enforcement agencies to effectively investigate and promote and prosecute transnational crimes. While it is acknowledged that the local law enforcement agencies may have the necessary skills set to investigate and prosecute transnational criminal offenses such as homicide, robbery, and others, there is a lack of technical capacity and the required infrastructure to investigate and prosecute transnational criminal offenses. Mr. Deputy Speaker, organized crimes are perpetrated by well-organized and well-resourced criminal groups. Further, the criminal offenses committed by organized criminal groups have transnational elements and therefore are complex and they extend to other jurisdictions, financial and legal institutions. Conducting investigations in evidence collection and prosecutions requires specialized skills and training. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the ANTOC could be a platform where much needed training and other capacity building assistance may be provided for our local law enforcement agencies to build their capacity. This could improve the rate of investigation and the protection of transnational offenses in PNG. Mr. Deputy Speaker, several government agencies responsible for implementing certain aspects of the ANTOC were consulted. The agencies agreed that the existing domestic laws of PNG implement key aspects of the ANTOC, with minor legal reforms to be undertaken to fully comply with the ANTOC. The state agencies further recognize the growing trend in the rise of transnational organized crimes in PNG, and the treaty is a threat it poses to our national security. Mr. Deputy Speaker, organized criminal groups around the region and the world are using PNG or Papua New Guinea as a transit spot for facilitating the transportation of illegal substances and the facilitation of illegal activities. Assertion to the ANTOC may complement the existing domestic efforts to counter transnational crime and may further provide avenues for local law enforcement agencies to seek assistance from international counterparts to combat organized crime and organized criminal groups. Mr. Deputy Speaker, during the consultations, the state agencies agreed that PNG may accede to the ANTOC with reservations on the following articles. Article 17
deals with transfer of sentenced person. Article 21, transfer of criminal proceedings. Article 24, protection of witnesses and Article 25, assistance to and protection of witnesses, victims. These obligations under the ANTOC are not practical for Papua New Guinea to implement now, as there is no legal basis and in administrative mechanisms. PNC may withdraw the reservations in future when the necessary mechanisms are established to facilitate those obligations under the ANTOC. With this, Deputy Speaker, with that, I now seek the consent of this Honourable House for PNG to accede to the United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I move the Parliament take note of this statement and we adjourn the debate to a subsequent.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Honourable members, I'd like to, from the chair, I'd like to respond to a question raised by the member for North Fly. The member for North Fly, Honourable James Donald, raised a question to the chair when the Vagrancy Act 2026 will be certified. I informed the member that after the passage of the legislation, the first Legislative Council sent files relating to those registration to the Clerk of Parliament. His officers in the Bills and Papers Office to prove reading on those registration. After all checks are completed, they are printed and the Speaker and the Clerk both sign them, will sign them. For your information, the Vagrancy Act 2026 is going through this process now. Honourable members, I now...
Process has not completed.
Honourable Minister, on advice received is that the Prime Minister have already moved a motion to move on this bill, and it will be on the notice paper. After 10 days of sitting, it will be brought forward for the third reading. The certificate will be issued, of ratification will be issued, that the voting will take its session. Honourable Minister, I assume you to sit while I do clarification from here. Thank you. Honourable members, I now suspend Parliament for lunch.
Parliament resume at 2 o'clock.